You guys, about 2 months ago in September of 2022, I went and got a pedicure. $50 later, my toes were looking so cute. I got this bright red color, my feet were feeling good, nice and soft. So it got me thinking. I wanted to cheat code my way around the expensive salon and my inability to paint my own toenails. So at this point, you see where I'm going with this. Press-on pedicures. I know, this is crazy, but if not me, then who? At this point, my pedicure had started growing out, so I took myself and my painted little toenails down to Walmart to find some press-on pedicures. I know Impress has them and I know Dashing Diva has them, so I was bound to find something, right? Wrong. All I found was one pair of pedicures, and they weren't the press-on kind. They were the kind where you have to put the glue on, and I've never had good experiences with fingernails like that, let alone toenails, so I was like, So I went to 2 different Dollar Generals and 2 different Sally Beauties, and I didn't find any press-on pedicures. But I didn't let that deter me. So what I decided to do is to order some press-ons from Impress Nails and also order some press-ons from Dashing Diva. And I wanted to do a little comparison of the 2 brands, both the ordering process, the website, and then a wear test, one on each foot. The Impress Nail website is not so good. It's not user-friendly, it's poorly organized, and the selection is not that good. But I was able to find a couple pairs that I wanted to try out that I thought were cute. The Dashing Diva website, on the other hand, is poppin'. It's awesome, it's organized, all the press-on toenails come up in one little spot. You can check everything out. The selection is amazing. They have a ton you can choose from. And the only thing is, the Dashing Diva ones are a little bit more expensive, a couple dollars more. The Impress ones are cheaper. The Dashing Diva order total after shipping, handling, tax, all that was $19.26. And then the Impress Nail order total was $17.10 after shipping, handling, and taxes. I placed both orders within minutes of each other on September 30th. Dashing Diva ended up coming in on October 3rd, and Impress Nails did not come in until 5 days later on October 8th. So for the couple dollars I saved on the Impress order, it took another whole 5 days to arrive to me. Not too big of a deal, but I was eager to get these on my toes and get filming and testing, so it was a little bit annoying. The Impress Nails came in a very plain package, just a white envelope, whereas the Dashing Diva nails came in a very pretty pink metallic packaging, if that matters to you at all. It ended up in the recycling either way, but just a note there. I don't know about you guys, but admittedly, the idea of pressing on toenails is very strange to me, which is why I was excited to do this video. I didn't know how this was going to work. It's just a weird idea in general. Maybe it's weird to even press on fingernails, but I'm so used to it at this point. But just the idea of toenails, completely strange. But all 4 sets really looked pretty. I tried to get similar shades, 2 sets of similar shades, just because I knew I was going to be doing one brand on one foot and the other on the other, so I wanted them to look halfway like they matched. But all 4 sets looked extremely beautiful. They're pretty, and I was happy with all of them. So it's not like one of them came in and I was like, oh, that's kind of ugly in person, but all the shades looked really pretty. I wasn't exactly sure how to get to applying them. It's not like when you're doing your fingernails and you could just do it on your counter or on a table or something. I was like, what do I have to do? Like just sit on the floor and do these, which is what I ended up doing. I just went into my bathroom and kind of set up shop there. It was easy enough with Impress and Dashing Diva to pick out the sizing. I don't know if it's just my toes, but all the little ones pretty much had the same size. Maybe like they were each like one size down from each other, but it just kind of looked like besides the big toe, everything was the same size. But besides that, it was easy to pick them out. So if feet weird you out, I'm trying to spare you as least amount of foot footage as possible. I know it can be weird looking at other people's feet, but there's no other way for me to like give you guys a good review with showing my feet at least for a little bit, so I apologize in advance. I decided it was best to use my tried and true usual procedure of applying my Impress fingernails. So I went ahead and buffed out all my toes with a nail file that was provided. And then of course, even though they're press-ons and they do not require any glue, I did use my PowerFlex nail glue. I always use PowerFlex nail glue in addition to press-ons. It gives me the most longevity, so I wanted to do the same thing with the toenail test. So at this point in the process, I've buffed out all my nails and I've laid out all the nails that I'm going to use, and I'm already noticing that I'm getting uncomfortable. Because I'm on the floor, I'm trying to somehow have good posture, but also hunch over my toenails and work on them, and I'm already getting very uncomfortable. My back is starting to hurt, I'm sitting on a hard floor, my butt's hurting. So comfort level was not 10 out of 10 here. It wasn't doing good. However, actually applying the toenails was easier because you have both hands to work with, as opposed to when you're doing your fingers, you only have the one hand to work on the other hand. It was very easy to apply pressure, to kind of work with everything, work with the glue, work with the nail, take the tabs off. It was very easy because, like I said, you have both of your hands and you're working on your foot. So that part was very easy. Also, both brands leave the little tabs on every nail except for the big toe, and those are really helpful in placing the nail onto your little toes. So I like that they did that. And then once you apply it, you just kind of wiggle it back and forth and it just falls off. But that is key. I really liked that feature. So once I would have each nail applied, I would squeeze it down with both of my thumbs for 20 to 30 seconds, sometimes even longer depending, and it seemed to work great. Now once I had them all applied, I noticed that the impress nails seemed to fit my personal nail beds better. They just looked more natural. They looked like they fit perfectly, while the Dashing Diva ones seemed like they were just a little too narrow, especially for my big toe. It just seemed like the big toe, no matter which size I tried to pick, it just seemed like it was a little crooked, probably because my toenail bed is crooked, but I just didn't have as good of a fit on the Dashing Diva side. And then once I was all done, I put a pair of socks on, and it just seemed like the Dashing Diva ones were way too long, way longer than I normally wear my toenails. So did the Impress ones, but the Dashing Diva more so. So I went back and cut down every single nail, and then they looked a lot better. But the Impress nails still had the edge. I think they fit my toenail beds better. The length is not really a big deal. It's very easy to cut them down, and because they're toenails, that straight edge and kind of square shape doesn't look odd or blocky. It just looks good on the toenails. So after cutting them down, I didn't really have to file or do anything else. They just looked good after that. So the purchasing process, the application process, it was all fairly decent. I had a good experience. It wasn't too difficult. But this was the part, the wear test, that I was very concerned about because it's fall now, you guys. I'm wearing socks all the time. I'm wearing booties, boots, gym shoes. I'm barely ever wearing open-toed shoes anymore. So I'm like, how's this gonna work? Is it gonna feel weird? Are they gonna pop off in my socks and be floating around during my workday? Like, how's this gonna work? I had a lot of concerns. The first couple hours after I applied them and I had socks on, it did kind of feel weird. I was aware that something was on my toes, but after that I got used to it and it didn't feel like anything. And then the next day came when I was wearing heeled booties, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work because the nails are going to be touching my shoe all day and just bumping and walking and all that. And nothing happened. They stayed on all day. It didn't feel weird. It didn't hurt. And they didn't pop off, either one of them. So I was like, okay, cool. Day one is a success, whatever. But I didn't have high hopes. I'm like, maybe they'll last a week. Maybe they'll last a couple days. What do I know? But they're bound to pop off. And I applied them shortly after I got the Impress nails. So this was like October 9th or 10th. I can't quite remember which day. I don't know if you guys can see the date. It is today, November 6th. I've had them on for almost a month. This is crazy. I did not think that they would last longer than even the fingernails last. With as much as I'm wearing shoes and socks, I'm so impressed by the wear, both of them. They're not budging. Neither of them have any sign of give. I'm so pleased, and I thought this was so weird going into it, and I didn't have high hopes, but the wear test has been amazing. But I guess it makes sense because I don't know about you guys, but this is my experience. I'll go to the salon and I'll get no chip nails just to make sure that they last at least 2 weeks or more. And then I'll get regular, just regular paint on my toes, and it'll last for 2 months. And I'm like, man, I paid so much extra to get no chips, and these basic toes with basic paint on them are outlasting them. Makes sense because we use our hands and our fingers as tools all the time. I'm washing dishes, typing, writing, everything. So it makes sense. We don't really do much with our toes. So whenever these eventually fall off or I get tired of them and I pull them off, I'm excited to try the other set that I got. I don't know what I'll go for first. These Impress ones are like a dark navy with a metallic design, and these are just like a metallic purpley bluish color, but they're both really pretty. I'm going to use them both. I'm not going to let the fact that the Dashing Diva ones aren't a perfect fit stop me from using them. I'm still going to use them because I'm sure I notice it, but who's getting that up close and personal to your feet that they would even notice it? Unless you're like a foot OnlyFans model or something, which I'm certainly not. You guys seen my feet. I'm not good at painting my own toenails. I don't know if it's because I'm just not experienced enough, I don't do it enough, or because My toenails are a little bit textured, so it just always comes out looking a mess, and you can tell that I did it. So I think this little test turned out great. I'm gonna start doing this all the time, especially next summer or when I start going on vacations and stuff. I'm gonna use these. And who doesn't like to have cute toes when they're out on the beach or on vacation? I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know in the comments, have you ever done press-on toenails? Do you think it's weird? Let me know your experience, you guys, in the comments. I love talking to you, and until next time, off I go.
Off you go!